Kunja Bihari Rama. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivana Dari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivana Dari. Radha Madhava Punjabi Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivana Dari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivana Dari. Sodanandana Bhajana Ranjana Jasodanandana Bhajana Ranjana Yasoda Jamuna Tiravana Charinati Jamuna Tira Vanacharinati Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari. Radha Madhava Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivana Dari. Yasodanandana Bhajana Ranjana Yasoda Yasodanandana Bhajana Ranjana Yasoda Jamuna Tiravana Charinati Jamuna Tiravana Charinati Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. John Vistapad Paramahamsa, Pravadakacharya, Lasatera Sata Shishimad, His Divine Grace, Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki, Anantakota Vaishnava Niki Jai, Namacharya, Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Prem Sikho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Samakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavandam Ki Jai. Shri Maya Punavdam Ki Jai. Ganga Maya Ki Jai. Jamuna Maya Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Transcendental book distribution Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Oh, Premanandi. All glorious Sama devotees. All glorious Sama devotees. All glorious Sama devotees. All glorious to Shishi Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This morning reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 30, text number 30. Asav eva boro smakam ipsito jagata pate prasano bhagavan yesam apavarga gurur gati. Asav eva boro smakam ipsito jagata pate Prasano Bhagavan Yesam Apavarga Gurur Gati Asaveva Varosmakam Ipsito Jagatapate Prasano Bhagavan Yesam Apavarga Gurur Gati Asaveva Varosmakam Ipsito Jagatapate Prasano Bhagavan Yesam Apavarga Gurur Gati. Ashaveva barosmakam ipsito jagatapate prasano bhagapanye sam apavarga gurugati. Asau, that, eva, certainly, bara, benediction, asmakam, our, ipsita, desired, jagata, of the universe, pate, O Lord, prasana, satisfied, Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, yesam, with whom? Apavarga, of transcendental loving service, Guru, the teacher, Giti, the ultimate goal of life. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki. O Lord of the Universe, you are the actual teacher of the science of devotional service. We are satisfied that your Lordship is the ultimate goal of our lives, and we pray that you will be satisfied with us. That is our benediction. We do not desire anything other than your full satisfaction. Please repeat. O Lord of the Universe, you are the actual teacher of the science of devotional service. We are satisfied that your Lordship is the ultimate goal of our lives, and we pray that you will be satisfied with us. That is our benediction. We do not desire anything other than your full satisfaction. Purport. In this verse, the words Apavarga Guru Gati are very significant. According to the Srimad Bhagavatam 1-11, the Supreme Lord is the ultimate fact of the Absolute Truth. Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavan iti Sapyate. The Absolute Truth is realized in three features: impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and ultimately the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhagavan. The word Apavarga means liberation. Pavarga means material existence. In material existence, one always works very hard, but is ultimately baffled. One then dies and has to accept another body to work very hard again. This is the cycle of material existence. Apavarga means just the opposite. Instead of working hard like cats and dogs, one returns home, back to Godhead. Liberation begins with merging into the Brahman effulgence of the Supreme Lord. This conception is held by the Jnani Sampradaya, philosophical speculators, but realization of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is higher. When a devotee understands that the Lord is satisfied, liberation or merging into the effulgence of the Lord is not very difficult. One has to approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the impersonal Brahman effulgence, just as one has to approach the sun through the sunshine. It is not very difficult to merge into the impersonal Brahman effulgence of the Lord if one has satisfied the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Jnanatamrandasya Jnanandjana Salakaya Chakshur Malitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Mukam Kotavatalam Bhangam Lang Haite Garim Yet Kripataraham Bande Shikaram Janataranam Vanchakapi Divyascha Kripa Sandev Devacha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. There's a lot of teachers, right? Throughout the universes. There's many teachers. But Krishna, he is the supreme teacher. And what does he teach? He teaches the absolute truth. He teaches us how to get out of this material existence. There's an interesting question that Arjuna asks in the Bhagavad Gita. He's talking about, Krishna's explaining about devotees, and Arjuna asks, well, how does he walk? How does he talk? How does he sit? What is his language? Devotees have a certain way they walk. Yeah. One devotee told another devotee, "You walk like a devotee." Yeah? Prabhupada had a real special walk. I remember before I joined, I had heard that gurus or saints, they walk with their head down, humility. But then you see Prabhupada walking. He's walking. He's got his head up, proud to be a servant of Krishna. Yeah. Ultimate humility. Prabhupada had the highest level of humility. Servant of Krishna. Yeah. So, yes, Krishna, he is the best teacher. So now Arjuna asked that question, what did Krishna say? Arjuna asked, well, how does he sit? How does he walk? How does he talk? He said, Prajahati idakam sarvam partham manogatam atmannivat manatuta stita pragya tarochite. That one who gives up all varieties of sense gratification, which arise due to mental speculation, mental concoction, and who finds satisfaction in the self alone, he's understood to be transiently situated. That was Krishna's response. There's so many desires will come, but a devotee understands it's just mental. It's just a mental concoction. Yeah. It's just a mental concoction. Yeah. We're not these bodies. We're not these desires. We're not this mind. We're transcendental. So Krishna teaches a lot about transcendence, transcending the material body, transcending the material mind, the material world, and focusing on Krishna. Apoyamanam machala pratishtam samudnamapa bhavasanti yadva tadvat kamayam bhavasanti sarve sasanti mapnoti nakama. One who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires, which enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled, but which is always satisfied, which is always steady, alone achieves peace, and not the person who strives to satisfy such desires. There's so many desires. Yeah. Practically how many? Unlimited. Unlimited material desires. Right? But there's also unlimited spiritual desires. So we're trying to focus on those spiritual desires. If we can satisfy Krishna, as it's said here, if we can satisfy Krishna, of course Krishna, he's Atmaram, he's satisfied, he's fully satisfied. But if we can, by our activities, satisfy him more, yeah, then we've achieved the goal of life. It's not easy to act in a way that is pleasing to Krishna, but it's possible by the mercy of Krishna. Krishna, he is known as the master of all mystics. Yatra Yogeshvara Krishna, Yatra Partha Dhanurja, Tatra Shiva Jayobu Juvami Tirva. He's the master of mystics, and on book distribution. Any book distributor knows you experience Krishna's mystical abilities on book distribution. So Krishna is so mystical that he could transform our materialistic mind into a pure mind. That's the ability of Krishna. He could do anything. So he could also make us pure. Yeah. It's nice to know. But it's not on our own strength. We have to get the mercy of Krishna. Yeah. And that happens just by engaging in devotional service. Yeah. We become purified. Sometimes on book distribution I meet people that they say, well, I'm a free spirit. You ever meet people like that? I'm a free spirit. Now what does that mean, to be a free spirit? Actually, to be a free spirit means one is free of the modes of material nature and is engaged in devotional service. That's a free spirit. They don't know what it means. So Prabhupada was a free spirit, free of the modes of nature, free to serve Krishna in so many ways. That's a free spirit. That's what we're trying to become, free spirits. Free of Maya and focused on serving Krishna in whatever way we can. So this is a free spirit. We want to be free of the modes of material nature. Mangchavyo vyavicharina bhakti yogena sevate saganang saititai manubhyaya kalpate. That one who engages in full devotional service, who does not fall down under any circumstance, at once transcends the modes of material nature and comes to the level of Brahman. So this is the result of practicing Krishna consciousness, that we take shelter of Krishna, we engage in devotional service. Yeah. So Krishna, he's the best teacher, teaching us how to be free, how to be satisfied, how to be happy. Now Krishna, he also had a teacher. What was his teacher's name besides Rajendranandana? Yes, Sandipani Muni, not Sandipani. Sandipani Muni. He was the teacher of Krishna. So Krishna, he went to the Gurukul. He went and he learned from the Guru. He was a good student. Whatever he would hear, he would remember. Of course, he didn't have to hear anything. He already knew everything. He knew what the Guru was going to say before he said it. That's a good teacher. That's a good student there. So he pleased his Guru, Sandipani Muni. And his Guru blessed him that whatever you speak will be ever fresh. So therefore, we can read the Bhagavad Gita over and over again. Yeah. And it's ever fresh. It's wonderful. It's always ever fresh. Like we have Darius. He likes the Bhagavad Gita. He's reading the Krishna book now. So I said, well, how do you like it? He said, oh, I like it. It's good. But I love the Bhagavad Gita. So that's good. You have a taste for hearing Bhagavad Gita. That's very, very fortunate. So Krishna was blessed in that way. Then we have the Uddhava Gita, also so nice. Srimad Bhagavatam, so many nice books. Nectar of Devotion. Ocean. We have an ocean of nectar in these transcendental literatures. You just read them over and over and over again, and it becomes fresher and fresher. A lot of people, they're into novelties, right? They want to hear something new. Let's hear something new. See something new. But Krishna's ever new. He's ever fresh. So therefore we can be satisfied, just hearing again and again and again the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Bhagavad Gita. And from that, we get purified. So before Krishna left his guru to go back to Hastinapur, he said, is there anything I can do for you? Any service I can do for you? There's God, you see. You do service to God, and God, He wants to do service. And the Sandipa Muni spoke to his wife, oh, Krishna's asking if there's anything we want. You know, he's not an ordinary student. So one of their, I guess maybe there's the only son, their son had died. So they asked Krishna, Krishna, can you bring back our son who died? So Krishna, what did he do? He went to Yamaraj and said, hey, this person died, we want him back. All right. So they got their son back. It was Krishna. Amazing. Who can do that? People say they're God. Okay, yeah, you're God. Okay. Let's see you bring someone back to life. Yeah. So this is Krishna. He's amazing. Wonderful. And the more we become Krishna conscious, the more we also become wonderful. Like Prabhupada was so wonderful. Everybody loved Prabhupada. So many devotees, so many wonderful devotees. Because they're connected to Krishna. Prabhupada says in the purport, the pure devotee does not have a material body because of his being surcharged with the current of Krishna's identical interest. So nice, huh? The pure devotee does not have a material body because of his being surcharged with the current of Krishna's identical interest. And Prabhupada was so surcharged with Krishna's desire that people would come in contact with him and they would get this, they would catch the current of Krishna's desire, the current of Krishna consciousness. And they would catch this, and then Prabhupada would tell them, now you go and you start a center. See, right now, book distribution is the main thing. It's amazing, even though, 44 years later, still it's very important. Still we're doing about 9 million, 10 million books a year, so it's still the main focus. But in the beginning, Prabhupada wanted temples open. So he was expressing to us, I want to open a temple here, send them there, send devotees there, send devotees there. In this way, we have, 700 temples or something like that. A lot of temples. Prabhupada wanted people to get an opportunity to hear about Krishna. So they would get surcharged with this current. They would go to Australia, they would go to Mexico and Europe and even China, all over the world. They had this transcendental current coming from Krishna through Prabhupada. So Krishna, he is so kind, he also sends nice teachers, pure teachers. He's the best teacher, so he also sends others. Prabhupada came to teach us. Such a great teacher. I was just recently listening. And Prabhupada said, consciousness means Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness. It's like sunshine means sunshine. You can't have shine without the sun. Right? Try to have shine without the sun. It's not going to happen. So we can have some consciousness without Krishna. Yeah. But it's limited. Just like if the sun is shining and there's some clouds, you can't get the full sunshine. You can get some of the shine, but you can't get the full shine of the sun. So in this world, people, they have some consciousness, but it's clouded. It's clouded, so they don't get the full Krishna consciousness. And now we're practicing. We also have some clouds up there. We're a little cloudy up there. So we also don't get the full Krishna consciousness. But we're in the process of removing the clouds so that we get this full Krishna consciousness. And when we have that full Krishna consciousness, oh, it's so nice. Even now we don't have that full Krishna consciousness. Still, so nice. Yeah, so nice. Imagine how nice it'll be when we're completely Krishna conscious. No Maya. Something to look forward to. And how long does it take? It could be a moment. It could be a moment. Who was that? Kulashekar? Katvanga, Maharaj Katvanga. He had been serving the demigods. He was a warrior, Kshatriya, and he had been serving the demigods, fighting against the demons for a long time. And he was a powerful Kshatriya. So then, after the demigods had won, they asked him, well, you've helped us so much. Is there anything we could do for you? You know, they also have the service attitude. I want to sleep. He said, I want to sleep. I'm tired. He said, I've been fighting for so long. I don't know how long it was fighting, but it was a long time. I just want to sleep. And if anybody wakes me up, burn them. I want that benediction. Anybody wakes me up, they get burnt. So he got that benediction. And Krishna knew about that. And there was one demon trying to kill Krishna. He was a Muchi, a Muchi demon. Krishna didn't want to be around him, so he was known as Ranchor. He was running away from him, didn't want to, he's just too Muchi. So he took him right to the cave where Kulashekar, what is that? Was sleeping. Katvanga. Something. What is? So he thought. This demon saw Krishna go into the cave, and he saw someone sleeping there. So he thought that was Krishna. He gave him a kick. So he kicked the wrong person. So he woke up, and he burned him. That's how he died. So. By practicing Krishna consciousness, our material desires are burnt up. We burn up our material desires so that all that's left is the desire to serve Krishna. And Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, he gave us so much information, so much wonderful knowledge. Mat karma krin, mat paraman, mat bhakta sangavardita, nirvaira sarvbhutesu, yasamamita pandava. Actually, this is the verse Prabhupada says in the purport is the essence of the Bhagavad Gita. Mat karma krin, mat parama. That one who works for me. Krishna says one who works for me. Everybody's working. Some type of work people are doing. So you work for me. And Krishna, he gives a good pension. Our Bhakta Michael, he said he's got a pension now. So Krishna gives the best pension. You work for him, you go back to the spiritual world, you never work again. You just enjoy life for the rest of eternity. It's a good pension. What do you think, Michael? It's good? Yeah, perfect. No worries. No problem. Like in Australia, that's a big thing. No worries, mate. That's where there's no worries. In Australia, there's a lot of worries. Wherever you go in the material world, there's worries, problems you have to deal with. In the spiritual world, no problems. Vaikuntha, no anxiety. Karmakrin mat parama, one who understands me to be the supreme. It's like Krishna says, Yomam Vivam Samudo. Whoever understands me to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting, he's the knower of everything. And such a person becomes wise in all his endeavors. They know perfection. Like Prabhupada, he wanted this land in Juhu, and it was a incredible it was a great struggle. But Prabhupada said, I always get what I want. Because what he wants, he knows Krishna wants it too. So what can Krishna not get? So if you're a good devotee of Krishna, then what can you not get? Yeah. So Prabhupada was a very good devotee of Krishna. One of the best. So he always got what he wanted. Mat Karmakrin Mat Parama, Mad Bhakta, who is my devotee. Not a devotee of anyone else, my devotee. Or devotee of other devotees, that's also. He even says that he who says he's my devotee, but does not accept my devotee as master, then he's not my devotee. So we have to accept service to a devotee. Otherwise we can't be a devotee of Krishna. So therefore we have a spiritual master who guides us back to Krishna. Teaches us how to be a devotee, how to be a humble servant of Krishna. Mad Karmakrin Mad Parama Mad Bhakta Sanghavarjita, who is free of all mental speculation and the desire to enjoy the fruits of one's activities. These are major stumbling blocks. Prabhupada said that there's two desires that go very deep in the heart. Very difficult to remove. Anybody know what they are? Sex desire, the desire to enjoy the fruits of one's activities. These two go very deep in the heart. Very difficult to remove. But Krishna is so powerful. He's so pure, he's so wonderful that he can remove these if we surrender to him. Nirvaira Sarvabhutesu, who is a friend to all living entities. Just like in the material world, unfortunately, it's a place where there's a lot of envy. Unfortunately. So, like some people, don't like other people. But a devotee is not like that. He treats so-called enemies and friends equally. It's like, was it Yudhisthira Maharaj? He had no enemy. He had no enemy. Although he was on the battlefield, he was fighting. He had no enemy. He was doing his duty, but he didn't, single out anybody as his enemy. Yeah. Although he had his duty as a kshatriya to please Krishna. Such a person attains me. One who works for me, who understands me to be the Supreme, who is my devotee, who is free of the desire to enjoy the friend to all living entities. Such a person, he comes to me. Prabhupada says in a purport, this is the essence. This verse is the essence of the Bhagavad Gita. So, we're getting so much wonderful information from this supreme teacher, Krishna. So we should take advantage of it. And we'll grow. We'll grow spiritually. Now what's interesting is at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna's taught the whole Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. And then he says, Iti te jnanam akyatam guyad gitmamaya vimarshe. He says, now I've explained to you knowledge even more confidential. Now you deliberate on this fully and do as you like. This is Krishna. He's not attached. He's our loving Father. But he's not attached. He's detached. He wants us to hear and act upon what we've heard and go back to him. But he's not attached. Love means that you choose. You choose. There's no force. Krishna never forces. Just like before I joined this movie, before I joined this movement, there was a movie called, I think it was God, it was God. And this one person played the position of God. And somebody in the movie, there was somebody that was envious of God. So God said, "Oh, you want to be God? You want this post? You want it? Then all right, you can have it. But there's one thing you can't do. You can't interfere with anyone's free will." That was the one thing you couldn't do. You could do anything you want, but you can't do that. And Krishna, that's the reality. Krishna doesn't interfere with our free will. Do as you like. But he gives us guidance to do the right thing. And if we're intelligent, we'll do the right thing. So we have to pray to Krishna to do the right thing. And Krishna is known as Diyampati. Diyampati means the Lord of intelligence. So we got to pray to Diyampati, Krishna, for the intelligence to do the right thing. And the right thing is to serve Krishna, to please Krishna. And this will be pleasing to Krishna and we'll be satisfied. Nothing else will satisfy us. Krishna Bhakti Nishkama Ateva Shanta Bhukti Mukti Siddhikami Sakliya Shanta. The devotees of the Lord, they're very shanti. They're peaceful. Right? Because they have no material desires. But people who are fruitive workers, so many material desires. Krishna Bhakti Nishkama Ateva Shanta Bhukti Mukti. People who are desiring liberation, they also aren't satisfied. Siddhikami, people that want mystic perfections, they're also not satisfied. Only the devotee is completely satisfied. So, any questions? Yes, Dimitri Prabhu. Oh, you on? Yeah.
I have a question. Why did Krishna need to be teaching himself the knowledge he already knew? Why did he take the form of a student to the knowledge he already knew?
Mm-hmm. To be a good example. To be a good example. He said that there's one place where if I did not perform my duty, then others will follow. So Krishna, he's God, so he's going to school, he's learning about the truth. He already knows the truth, he knows everything. He doesn't have to, but just to be a good example for others in the future, that everybody should go to the Gurukul and learn from the Guru, about the absolute truth. So he didn't have to. He knows everything.
Yeah, it's kind of funny to learn from yourself, But it makes sense to be an example to show that, by example that this knowledge, how to say it, he just to be spreading the knowledge as a great example himself. But yeah, thank you. I understand now.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Yes, Rajendra Nandana Prabhu.
May I share very quickly, the story of Katvanga Maharaj?
Yeah, please.
You were making the point, how long does it take to become Krishna conscious? Just in a moment. So the Muchukunda and Katvanga Maharajas were great kings, and similar story that they were fighting on behalf of the demigods. Imagine how powerful a human helping the demigods fight demons. And so they were very pleased with him, and they asked him, what can we do for you? We'd like to benedict you. And he said, well, how long do I have to live?
Oh, this is right. Yeah.
That was the connection.
Yeah, yeah.
And they said, you just have a couple of minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. He said, then immediately, let me go back to earth. And he absorbed his mind and his thoughts in Krishna and fully took shelter of Krishna and went back home, back to Godhead.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying that. Yeah. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
The last few sentences of the purport are a bit. Can you elaborate on that? Like.
Okay. Let's see. Oh. Last 2 sentences. All right. Let's see. One has to approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the impersonal Brahman effulgence, just as one has to approach the sun through the sunshine. It is not very difficult to merge into the impersonal Brahman, or impersonal effulgence of the Lord Brahman, if one has satisfied the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Well, the Goloka Vrindavan planet is surrounded by the Brahmajyoti. And the Vaikuntha planets, they're surrounded by the Brahmajyoti. So to get to the planets, or Goloka Vrindavan planet, we have to go through the Brahman effulgence. Yeah. And even then, Krishna, the effulgence is there. So there's one, I think it's in the Ishopanishad. Please, Krishna, remove this glaring effulgence, this Brahman effulgence, so I could see your form. So you got to pray to Krishna to remove this. Some people are very attracted to the Brahman effulgence, entering into the great white light. But a devotee says, please, Krishna, remove this light so I can see your form. Yeah. Okay? Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you for sharing that realization. There's another aspect that the Vedas say to approach Brahman, you have to become Brahman. And Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita explains what Brahman is. It's that position of imperishable happiness, eternality, etc. So to be able to be qualified to directly render service to the Lord, we have to have realized our spiritual existence, our spiritual nature. With pure spiritual senses, you can serve the Supreme Pure. So for the devotee, that Brahman realization is Sambandha Gyan. I'm eternal spirit soul, eternally the servant of Krishna.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki